Hi, I'm Andrea and welcome to Productive C#. In this video I want to talk about the test case attribute in NUnit and how it can help to write a lot more readable tests. So here I have a solution with two projects. The first project contains a math class with a factorial static method that helps you to calculate the factorial of a number. Then I have a test project that contains the math test class, and as you can see it contains 4 test cases that check the factorial of a 0, the factorial of 1, the factorial of 3, and the factorial of 5, and check that the result is what we expect. Okay, so now let's have a look at how we can use the test case attribute to simplify this number of tests. As you can see, all the tests are pretty much similar. There's a lot of duplication because we call math.factorial every time. We assert that are equal. We use assert are equal to check that the expected result is what we expect. And then basically we recognize that the main difference between all of these 4 methods is just the input and the output. So what we can do is the following. You can make the test method parametric, so you can accept the 2 inputs, so the input n and the expected result as parameters. And then we can pass the input in the method under test, and we can specify the expected result here. And then we can provide the input using the test case attribute. What we do, in the order, we pass first n, in this case we pass 0, and the expected result is 1. So we wrote a kind of a parametric test, and we provide the input using an attribute. If I run this code, I'm using the ReSharper test runner, but this works also with the any runners, including the NUnit test adapter in Visual Studio. As you can see, we have the factorial 0 test, and 0 and 1 is provided here as the name of the test automatically for you, so you can immediately recognize what test it is. So this means that I can remove all of these 3 tests here and test 1, 3, and 5 using additional test cases, because we can provide more than one test case, and that's one of the advantages of using test case. So if 1 factorial is 1, 3 factorial is 6, and 5 factorial is 120. See how more compact this code is. Now, basically, I have a single test that contains all the test cases I need. Actually, the name is now not representative, so we should probably rename this test into something like factorial test, for example. Right? So now let me run it and let's have a look at how it looks. You can see the test is a single one, but under that you can see there are 4 different test cases: 0, 1, 1, 1, 3, 6, and 5, 120, and they all pass. Okay, so this is an extremely useful attribute that I use all the time when I write tests, because it really helps to improve the readability of your test, reduce duplication a lot, and basically allows you in a very compact way to describe your test. There's another way of doing this that is, as you can see, then there are 2 parameters that we pass. It's not immediately clear which parameter is which parameter is. So because the expected result is something that you usually do, instead of doing the unassert, what you could do is return a value directly, so the value that you want to assert, right? Something like that. So we can remove that. So we can directly return the result of the method under test, and instead of passing the expected result as a method, we can use here expected result as a property of the test case, and I can add it here in all the other tests. Okay, so what I did is now the assertion is not explicit in the test, but you reduce the number of parameters and you use a property expected result to say what you expect. So the value that you return is basically what will be asserted against the expected result that you provide here. And if you run, you can see that that's pretty much the same as before, but a little bit more readable. It's actually a preference if you use this syntax, or you prefer to use assert explicitly in the test. It's up to you, but it basically works the same. The difference is now that you see only 0, 1, 3, and 5 as the name of the test. But if you want, you can also personalize the name of the test. If you want, you can say test name, equals, and then you can provide a particular name, like let's say 0 factorial, or you can even say 0 factorial equals 1, right? And I can copy that and do this. So now I can provide a custom name for each individual test case. That's up to you. I don't tend to use it, but you can do it. Right? Now when you run it, if a test fail or pass, you can immediately recognize which test you are actually looking for. As you can see here in the runners, you can definitely see the test name visualized here, so it's immediately clear what is testing. And so this is pretty much what test case is about. The important things to know is that test case values can only be compile time values. So if you need to provide the value, that the input or your test that are calculated at runtime, you can't use test case. If you want to do that, you need to use test case source attribute, and we can see that in another video. But as you can see, the test case attribute is an extremely useful attribute and can really help to make your test a lot more compact and more declarative. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching.
If you like this video, I invite you to check out My Productive C#. My Productive C# is the essential resource for any developer at any stage of their career to increase their practical skills and become master C# developer. So whether you are still figuring out how to get your first .NET developer job, or whether you are already an experienced C# developer and you are just looking for ways to stay up to date, then My Productive C# can help you to get to the next level. With an extensive collection of extremely practical videos, weekly news, free licenses from sponsors, exclusive access to me, and a supportive community to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice, My Productive C# is the perfect place for anyone looking to become a master and successful C# developer. So check it out at productivec#.com/membership.